smile, no pressure, right? Here's your special treat. So growing up, my mom used to drop these little nuggets of wisdom, things to live by. One of them being, always wear clean underwear. Now, I'm not really sure where this came from. I think it's because my mom's mom, my Nana, worked in a hospital. And I can picture my Nana in the emergency room, and this ambulance comes rushing in with a gurney with a young woman who's been in a terrible accident. They put her on the table, and the doctor cuts open her blouse with a grand flourish, and there she is in a grungy gray bra with like a safety pin holding the strap together, right? So another one of her pearls of wisdom was always behave yourself no matter where you go. Now, because you never know when you're going to bump into someone you know, right? It's a small world. Now, this one's easy to translate because I'm sure my mom meant, don't embarrass me in front of my friends, right? And then my third, and possibly my most favorite, and granted, I'm the youngest of four, so she had this story pretty well down at this point, but it was the talk. She sat me down. She said, Melissa, I don't want to know what you're doing. Just take precautions. So I try to put these three things together in my life. Always behave yourself no matter where you go, but make sure you wear clean underwear and take precautions. So anyways, this past weekend, I had the opportunity to apply all of those little nuggets of wisdom when I attended the Women's March in Washington, D.C. Yes! So I have to confess, I'm almost 55, and I have never participated in a march, a protest, or anything like this before in my life. So I get down there, and of course there's thousands and thousands of people, and I know so many people are going to go to this thing. I'm thinking, surely I'm going to bump into someone I know. Well, it turns out I did. I bumped into my mom. My mom was the president of the League of Women Voters in Greensburg, Pennsylvania in the 60s. When I was in kindergarten, and I had the day off from kindergarten, she would take me downtown, march me in front of a department store with a sandwich board. On the front it might say, vote yes on question 3, and on the back it might be like, vote, register to vote here. And in our basement, we had what's called a mimeograph machine. Anybody know that? I know for some of you that's like the Gutenberg press, but you had to crank this thing, and there was all this ink everywhere. I mean, it was messy, but it was the only way to get the message out. My mom had always envisioned herself as being this very independent woman living in the big city with this fabulous job, traveling the world, going to the theater and art museums. But she suddenly found herself married with 4 kids and living in the suburbs and no driver's license. Well, she got her driver's license really quick when she was 30. But she also buried my dad when I was 12 years old, and she survived several bouts of cancer too. But you have to know something about my mom. Her personal heroine was Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. Now, I know that seems like kind of an odd, heroine, but think about it. What girl doesn't like to wear pretty dresses or be fawned over by handsome young men? But for my mom, it was more about the scene when Scarlett goes back to the family plantation. Tara, after she's fled from Atlanta, and she's not had anything to eat for days, and she's looking at the ruin of her family home. And she reaches down into the fields that haven't been plowed for years, and she pulls up something out of the ground, some old root vegetable, and she puts it in her mouth, takes a few bites, and then promptly spits it out. And she vows, I will never go hungry again. Well, that was my mom. And so while I'm standing at this women's march, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of women who are so passionate about their causes, and there were a lot of causes, a lot of great signs, but I thought to myself, and there I'll have to kind of paraphrase our president who just left office, who spoke so beautifully 2 weeks ago in Chicago, that despite all of our different causes, at the end of the day, we don't want special treatment, right, or special rights. We just want equal rights. And so as I thought about that there in this huge mass of women, I thought, you know what? I think I just bumped into myself. So, Mom, most of the time, I have clean underwear on. And I do take precautions, not the kind she meant when I was 15, but like if it's raining out, I bring an umbrella and an extra sweater if it's cold, maybe a bottle of water just to be sure. And because it is a really, really small world that we all live in together, I try to behave myself no matter where I go. Because even now, 13 plus years after she's been gone, I still want to make her proud of me. Thank you. Thank you.